Good afternoon, participants. For today's afternoon session, we have Mr. Vishnu Vardhan from the Next Gen 3D Printers Private Limited. He completed his BTech in Mechanical Engineering and working in the field of 3D printers in the Next Gen 3D Printers company. He involved himself in the various FDPs organized by Anna University, IIT Chennai, and LPU University, Punjab, and some other universities and institutions. And we requested Mr. Rosaretti from the company to debut a person having more experience on the 3D printing and area. So Mr. Vishnu Vardhan is deputed for this assignment, and he is involved himself in various projects like food printer, metal printer, SLA printing for human phantom models, and making prototypes for major companies like Ford, Siemens, and TVS, and C-Star, and some other companies. So we are having a very practical, experienced person in the field of 3D printing. He is involved in production of a 3D printed component in the Next Gen 3D Printers company. So this session is going to be a very much informative and useful session with more practical insight on 3D printing. So moreover, we have two sessions from Vishnu sir. One is on today, the other one is on the last day. So accordingly, he planned to show the various aspects of 3D printing. So on behalf of all the participants and the Murugappa Polytechnic and the Department of Mechanical Engineering, I'm having great pleasure in welcoming Mr. Vishnu Vardhan for this session. Now I request Mr. Vishnu to take the session forward. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Myself, Vishnu Vardhan. Now I am taking the session. Now we will see some of the what is a 3D printer and how we have to slice in the 3D printer, everything, slicing software, everything. First we go for what is a 3D printer. A printer which modifies the 1 minute. The 3D printer makes the design CAD file into a 3D physical object. That printer is called a 3D printer. In this 3D printing technology, there are a lot of different types out there. Now we are using mostly FDM and SLA technologies. FDM is for wire-based technology, and the SLA was resin-based technology. We are using both these two technologies here. Now we will see some of the major parts in the FDM printer. Wait 1 minute. In a FDM printer, the main parts are the print head, and another one was the build area where the part is built on the printer, and another one was the raw material, that is filament.
Sorry for the interruption, sir. Are you sharing your slides or not yet started, sir?
Not yet, sir. At the time of slicing only, I have to share the screen.
Okay.
Now I have to show some mechanical components of the printer.
Okay, sir. Okay.
After that, I share the screen.
I thought you are sharing slide that is not visible like that I am asking. Okay, sir. No,
okay. First, I have to show some mechanical components which we are using in the printer.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Carry on.
Yes, sir. This one is the main part in the FDM printer. This is the print head, which attached to a nozzle. This is the nozzle head, and this is the print head. Now we will see is with different parts. This is the motor. With this motor, the filament is passed through the nozzle. Well, you can see.
Sorry, sir. I think some participants are not able to see your face. Let me check with the participant. Dear participants, are you able to see Mr. Vishnu sir's video in your system? Kindly confirm.
I'm able to see.
Or if someone not able to see, kindly pin his profile machine. Yes. Machine room is his ID. If you are not able to see, kindly pin the machine room ID. Thank you, sir. Continue, sir. Please, sir.
Yes, sir. I think you guys already know how this FDM printer working in the previous classes. With this motor, it feeds the filament into the nozzle. This is the filament raw material which we are using in the FDM printer. This filament will passes through this motor, like this one. In between these two gears, the filament it passes through to the nozzle. And this one is the nozzle setup. For at the time of printing for the different materials, we have to use different temperatures. So for PLA, mostly we have to use 220 degrees Celsius, and for the ABS, we have to use 240 degrees Celsius. We will see the different materials in the next class. Now we will see the working and the slicing of the printer. In FDM printer also, there are two types out there. One is Cartesian printer and the another one is Delta printer. Mostly we have to use mostly the Cartesian printer only. In the Cartesian printer means the every axis will move differently. The bed will move from only Z axis and the nozzle will move X and Y. Or otherwise, the bed will move Y axis, the nozzle will move X and Z. Like that, the Cartesian printer will work. But in case of Delta printer, the bed was fixed and the remaining X, Y, Z, all the axes were moved by the nozzle only. Back side of me, the Delta printer is there. This one is the Delta printer. We can show this one. In this one, you can see this is the nozzle setup. This nozzle setup moves both three axes, X, Y, and Z. Every axis was moved by this one only. In the Delta printer, the bed area is fixed. Now we go through the Cartesian printer, how to print, slicing, everything. Now I'm sharing my screen. So now. Is it visible, sir?
Participants, kindly check.
No.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it visible, sir? My screen, my share screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, sir. While printing in FDM printer, there are some steps are there. First, we have to design a CAD file or a design. For that design, we use any design softwares like SolidWorks, CATIA, Pro-E, anything. Or otherwise, we can easily download some STL files from the online only. For that STL files, we have different websites out there. The mostly used website for in 3D printing was Thingiverse. You can see this one is a Thingiverse website. In this website, we can easily download the STL files directly without any cost. These are all free of cost. Some websites are also there to download STL files. In those websites, we have to pay money to download. Also, it is easy to use in Thingiverse. Now I simply download one file. Click on the file, design which we want. Hello. Sorry for the inconvenience. Hello. Okay. After clicking which design we want, it will appear like this. We can simply download by clicking all the files. It will download as a zip file. Here it's showing downloading.
Hello. Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, dear participant, please stay online.
No, sir. Actually, from the last few days, the Thingiverse website is crashed. From the last few days, I can't able to work on that. So I think that's the problem. No, I mean, sir. So we'll skip, just Thingiverse is downloading the STL file only. I will go through the slides now. Yes, sir. Um, Another website means we have a lot of websites. One is Cults 3D. I will spell it one. Cults 3D. In this website also we can easily download STL files, but for some STL files we need to pay money. But in Thingiverse we can easily download any file without any free of cost.
Sir, please share your screen.
Sir?
Sir, please share your screen.
Oh, so sorry, sir. I mean, sorry. Now it's okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Now visible.
Okay. Cults 3D is another website to download the STL files from online. This one Cults 3D. In this website, we can easily download the STL files, but for some STL files, we need to pay money. After downloading the STL file, we need to go for the slicing. The next step in the 3D printing was the slicing after downloading the STL file. Now we go for the slicing. This is one of the slicing software which we are used. We can easily download in the online also. It is open source. I will tell you how to download. The name of that slicing software was FlashPrint. FlashForce brands company's FlashPrint software. We can easily download the FlashPrint software from the FlashForce website only. Based on our system configuration, we can download that one. If it is our OS is Linux, we can download the Linux one, or our is Mac, Windows 32-bit. Based on our system configuration, we download that file. Mine was Windows, so I already downloaded the Windows file. The user interface of the FlashPrint also very easy. We can easily understand. First, we have to check which build area we are going to print on which printer, because every printer the build area is different. From some printers the build area was square, the dimensions was 20-20 like that. But in some print areas the building area was rectangle. It will be like 10 centimeters y-axis and 20 centimeters x-axis like that. So for that we have to change here in view, in print. Already we have in machine type. These are the different types of printers we are using in the FlashPrint. Now I am slicing in the FlashForce Finder. After slicing, I will show the demo of the FlashForce Finder also. This is the build area of the FlashForce Finder. I will show you the Finder bed. Is it visible, the build area? This is the bed. On this bed the part will be developed. You can see that this is looking like a square shape. The dimensions was 15, 15, 15. Now we go for the slicing one. First we have to load the STL file. For that one we have to use this load option, and we can select any STL file already we have downloaded. I already downloaded some STL files. After load the STL file, it shows a pop-up menu. Can I put the design in center of the platform? We can simply press yes. Now you can see here the design is on the center of the bed. And the main thing at the time of slicing also, while seeing the design, we have to find out on which side if we place the part, it will come correctly, it will come good output with a less amount of support materials, everything. For this part, it will be print vertically only, it will come good. If I place horizontally, this area will not come good, because it is printed on the build area. At the time of removing the part from the build, the part will be damaged. So that's why I put this part in vertical position. Now we see some of the options in the FlashForce in this slicing software. This one is the view. We can, by using this option, we see the top view, bottom view, and views of the design software. And the second one, move option. By using this option, we can move the object throughout the bed on which area we need to print, like that. If you see in this bed, I have a hole at the center of the bed. So I have to place the part from the center to a corner, like that. So I have to move the part from the center to a corner. So that's why I move the part from the center to corner. For that purpose, we can use this move option and then rotate. But by using this option, we can rotate the object on which angle we need to print. For this one, while printing vertical only, it will come good. While some STL files or some designs are there, we need to print horizontal only. Then only it will come good. I will show that file also. If you see this one, it will print horizontal only. Then only it will come good. Or otherwise, if we place it vertically, it will not come that much good, because at the time of removing, this curved surface area will be damaged, because the curved surface area was attached to the build platform. So while seeing the design only, we have to identify on which side we place the part on the bed. At the time of rotating the object, we can manually rotate this like this using these X, Y, Z, or otherwise we can use these 90-degree rotations. Now another option in the slicing software was scale. If we think this STL file was so small, so I need some large one. So simply I can increase the size. You can see here the previous size was small. The size difference after changing the scaling. And also in some parts we have to increase only Z axis, or a particular axis only we need to change. For that one, we disable this uniform scaling option. On which axis we need to increase the size, press on that axis only. I need to increase the Z axis height, so I am increasing the Z axis height only.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Since one of the participants raising the question.
Okay.
In a chat box.
Yes, sir.
So,
will some part get damages? Some part get damaged, or always damages?
And also 3D size dimensions.
Actually, this now I am showing the print bed. That dimensions was 15, 15, 15. 15, 15 means 15 centimeters. 15 by 15 by 15. That build a platform area. And another one. Will some parts get damaged? Always damaged. No, not all parts will be damaged. Some parts only will damage based on the design only. If it has curved shapes, then only at the time of removing only it will damage. If you can see this design, it has a flat surface area, so we can simply put this one as flat on the bed. But at the side you can see this one, this is a curved surface. So while placing the curved surface directly on the bed, and after printing it not that much good. So that's why in FDM we have to place the flat surface on the bed. Then only we can get the print good. Okay, this individual scaling one axis. Now increasing the Z axis height only. You can see this part only in Z axis only the height was changed. I didn't change the X and Y axis height. Like this, we can scale the parts which we are designed. And the then will the finishing be good? Yes, so if we place the flat surface on the bed, then only the finishing will be good. For finishing, we have some printing settings are there. I will discuss later after finishing all those menu options. And the another option we have in this slicing software was cut. In some designs, we have excess material will be there, excess part. So for that, we can use this cut option. We can simply select the part which we need to cut and draw a line on that one and start cut. You can see this one, it was separated as 2 parts. Now you can save these 2 parts as 2 different STL files. While saving the STL file also, we have to go to File, Save As. At the time of save, we need to change it to STL only. Then only it will save as STL file, or otherwise it save as a FPP format file. That FPP format file will not accept the slicing software. Mostly STL file only the slicing software will accept. So we need to change it as STL file. If we save that one, we have to change the name. Now the file was changed. After placing the part on the bed, we go for another options which are crucial in the slicing. Center. You can see this part, there is no need of support. What's in this slicing mean, the FDM support means if any part printing below the 45 degrees angle or on the printing on the air, then only the support material will come. I will show one part. First, we need to place it properly. If you see in this design, the bottom of the design was flat, so that's why I put on this side flat on the bed. But if you see in this side, there is a down, some projection is there downwards. If we place this side on the bottom, we need to put some support material on this area because this area will be pinned on the air. I will show you how we add support materials. Now we go for the another option, supports. Here we can simply click auto supports. It will took the supports where it needed. If you see here, the green color was the support material because I placed it upside down. That's why the support material will take. If I place it the flat side on the bed, the support material didn't take. I will show you that one also. Now I am placing the flat material on flat side on the build platform. Now we go through supports. On the curved side only the supports will taken. If you see this one, the flat surface is directly on the bed. There is no need of support material, and by printing like this we can save our time and also the raw material. In 3D printing, the time and saving the time and the raw material is the main crucial thing. If we save the time and raw material, we can do printing very quickly and also deliver the parts. Okay. Now we see some of the support options already we have. If you think you need to add some supports because it in this area it doesn't come good, so I have to put some support material. So you can simply click on the add option and simply add supports on that area. Just left click on that area. You can see that the support material was added. Otherwise, you don't need in this area and don't need support material, it will come good. So you can simply click on the delete option and simply deletes these supports. Like this, we can manually place the support material and delete the support materials where we need, where we don't need. But for this part, we don't need any manual supports. After placing the supports, we can go back to our build platform. Now we go to the last step, that is print. The slicing software, the main thing was creating these printer settings are the main one. Telling the layer height and how much speed the print will be move, and also how much strong the part we want. All those settings we can tell here. Mostly 0.3 is we are using. Actually, the nozzle diameter what we are using was 0.4 nozzle diameter. Yes. 0.4 nozzle is the standard nozzle we are using in the 3D printing. For that 0.4 nozzle, the filament diameter was 1.7. It's 1.7 mm. The 0.4 mm nozzle. Now I am telling that for this part, my layer height was 0.3 mm. Or otherwise, if we need more surface finish, more smoother part, so we can go for lesser lower layer heights. That will be 0.2 or 0.15. But at that, what's the difference between the 0.3 mm layer height and 0.15 mm layer height was the printing time it takes more, and also the the material consumption also it takes more. For 0.3 mm it will take around 1 meter or 1.5 meter. For 0.15 mm it will take around 3 to 4 meters, and also time also it will takes more. So mostly we will use the less maximum layer height only. Now I am using 0.3 mm layer height. Yeah. At the time of printing also, we have to ensure which filament we are using. Now I am using PLA filament. This PLA filament's melting temperature was 220 degrees centigrade. At 220 degrees centigrade, the PLA filament melted and goes through the nozzle. The print will start. There are some other filaments out there that has higher melting temperatures. Those are ABS and carbon fiber out there. Somewhat alloy filaments out there. Mixture of filaments like wood filament and glass fiber, nylon. For all those filaments, we have to use higher temperatures. That for all those filaments, the melting temperature was around 240 degrees centigrade. And there is an advantage for PLA filament was we don't need any heated bed. If you see this build platform, it doesn't have any heated bed. Just a adhesive sticker is only there. This blue color, it's looking like it was adhesive sticker. This sticker is for grip to avoid warping. For those things only we are using this adhesive sticker. Actually, now I am using PLA filament. So I am placing the extruded temperature was 220 degrees centigrade. After fixing the layer height and temperature, we go for the how much speed our nozzle head will move. The standard speed we are using was the 36 mm per second. We are using here. 36 mm per second was the speed of the print we are using. Yes, and the main thing in this retraction is the main thing in the slicing software. What the retraction was, at the time of printing, the nozzle will move from one position to another position. At the time of moving, the nozzle will return back to avoid the thread between the parts, also oozing. That word will call as oozing. Over extrusion. We need to avoid over extrusion. For that one, we have to use this retraction. What this retraction did was, if we put the retraction, the filament will pull back from some 2 mm or 1 mm, which we give. Now I give only 2.5 mm with 30 mm per second. And we have to ensure that base print speed and the retraction speed not that much difference. We have to make sure that one also. If there is a lot of difference between these two, the filament will be rubbed. There will some problem will come at the time of printing. I will tell you what the problems we have to face at the time of printing after finishing our slicing. Because at the time of printing, we have to face lot of problems. I will tell you one by one, and also I will tell you how to solve all those problems. We can solve all those problems after giving this speed and retraction speed. We go for perimeter. In this perimeter, the shell count is the main thing. Shell count means the outer wall of the part, the design which we are created. In this part, you can see that this area, this is the wall of that part. Wait 1 minute. Sir, can you share the YouTube link? After finishing the slicing, I will share the YouTube link, sir. Is this part visible? Yeah. If you can see that at the outer, there is a line, thick line will be there. That thick line is called as perimeter. We can call it as shell, wall, anything. The shell of the design. Mostly 2 shell count is the preferred one, or otherwise if we need the part will be more strong, then we go for the higher count, 3 or 4. 3 is enough. And also one main thing, while we increasing the shell count, the filament consumption and also time also increases. So we have to maintain the less shell count only. And the main thing in the slicing was infill. Yeah. If you can see this in this part, there is a pattern inside the part that holds. That one is called the infill. That defines how strength our part was. If you can, we can increase the infill density by placing here the 20% or 10%, which one. while giving the infill density also for functional parts or otherwise any fitment. For those parts only we need to give more infill. For just display parts, normal showcase parts, we don't need that much infill density. While for a showcase parts, for 10% is maximum, because we don't need use that part after. By giving less infill, we can save the time and also the material consumption also. Yeah, and another thing was this fill pattern. There are some different types of fill patterns out there. In this part, you can see this was the hexagon fill pattern. In these fill patterns, the hexagon fill pattern has the more strength when compared to other fill patterns like line and triangle. Different types of fill patterns we have. This hexagon fill pattern has the most strength. Already we saw supports for if we see for this part, for this vertical part, we don't need supports, so we can simply disable this support option. But for this part, you can see that we have some support material bottom of the part, so we have to enable. Based on our design only, we have to enable the support option. In this support also, we have two different types of support patterns are there. One is tree-like pattern and the another one is linear pattern. I will show you the tree-like pattern and linear pattern. Now I am placing this model on this side. If you see this one, we need support material on this area because this area was printing on the air. Here in the first support options only we have tree-like support structure or the linear support structure. Mostly we are using linear support structures. At the time of removing, we can easily remove, and the part also strong while printing on the support area. I will show you the difference between the linear and tree-like. You can see this one is the linear support structure area. The support was looking like a straight lines, straight pillars. Okay, supports. And now we go for the tree-like support structures. Yeah. If you see here, the support came as a touch points, like a touch points. It came as touch points like that. In this one, that is the difference between the linear support structure and the tree-like support structure. But when compared to the tree-like and linear support structure, in that linear support structure only we will get the part as more strong. So that's why mostly we are using the linear support structure only. I am disable this one. Like this only. And also one thing I already told you before, while seeing the design only, we have to find out on which side, if we place the part on the bed, it will take less material and less support structure. If I place this as my on like this, it will take less support structure. I will show you that one. Support structures. You can see on this area and on this area only it will do support structures. But in the before we put in the before one, it took on full in this area it will took support structures. It causes it causes the printing time more, and also the material cost also it will be material consumption also more. We go back to the part only. Yes, we already in that in this support option. Now we see that a tree-like support structure and linear support structures. If we select linear support structures on that support option, it will took these options as the linear, these settings as for linear supports. Or otherwise, if we put support structure as tree-like, it will took these settings for the tree-like support structures. After giving these supports, we go for the RAF.
Sir, Vishnu sir,
Yes, sir.
some participants are posting related questions in chat box also, sir.
Okay.
I think if you answer right now, it will be very useful for them. If you take the questions at the end, they will find it difficult to understand, sir.
Yes,
If
sir.
possible, kindly
I will see that. I will
look
saw
this.
that one.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir. Can it be without pores? It looks porous. What if we want a solid one? Which fill pattern? Mostly we are using in the STL files. All are solid one only. We have to use. We will use. Or otherwise, if we use any vase type or a glass cup, for that is different. Can we provide internal lattices to the structure to reduce the material requirement? This is a white structure form. Sorry, sir, I didn't get that one. White structure form. Okay, about porous one. Okay. You are telling. You are asking for this one, sir. Yes. Actually, inside this one is the infill pattern. I give less infill area, so that's why it's looking like porous. If we give more infill, it looks like a full solid material, solid part. For material consumption, we have to reduce the material consumption only. I use this less infill area. Okay. Internal lattices. If we reduce the infill only, we can easily reduce the material requirement and also reduce the layer height. Both those two only will play a crucial role in the slicing for reducing the material requirement. Yeah. And the another option in the slicing was the raft. Actually, what's the raft means? It will print a 2 to 3 mm thickness of layer on the bottom of the part in between the part and the bed. If you see this part, I will show you. If you see this part, there is a white color. Yeah. If you see this part, there is a white thick layer on the bottom of the pot. This one is called raft. Mostly we are using for which purpose we are using raft was to build for good adhesion on the print to avoid warping. For that purpose only we are mostly using this raft. Or otherwise, in some cases we are printing the tall parts like a pillar and like pen sized structures designs. We are using the raft to avoid the shaking. For that purpose only we are using the raft. But for this design we don't need the raft material. And another one was additions. Yes. In this one, the pre-extrusion. What pre-extrusion was, at the time of print started, we have to ensure the flow is coming good from the nozzle or not. For that, we are using this pre-extrusion option. While we enable the pre-extrusion option, before it starting the print, it prints a one layer around the print. On that layer only, we can easily identify the flow is coming good or not. For that purpose only, we are using the pre-extrusion. And the another one is brim. Yeah, this one also same as the raft. We work what the work it is doing as same as a raft, but in raft it will has a 2 to 3 mm thickness. But in brim, it was a thin layer around the part. I will show you that one. Yeah. In this one, you can see a thin layer around the part. What are the difference between 2D simulation? I have done successful 2D simulation, but not 3D. I also don't know that much, sir. Now we will see this brim area. If you see in this part, this is our design. Around that design, we have a thin layer was there. This one we called as a brim layer. This brim also we have using for the good adhesion of the part on the bed. To avoid warping, all those things, we are using this brim. If we give more brim lines, it will be good. Margin. For giving more brim lines, we need to increase on this area. We have to increase some 6 like that, 6 mm. That one is more. For PLA, this wall option is no need. Actually, mostly why we are using the wall option means it will print a wall through around the part to avoid the warping and some over extrusion. But for PLA, we didn't get that much warping and the over extrusion, so we don't need that wall part. Also cooling also. For PLA filament, we don't need any cooling fan. For a higher temperature filaments only, we need that cooling fan. Because for that filaments, the nozzle temperature was 240 degrees centigrade, and also the heat. For those filaments, we have to use heat bed platform. For that heat bed platform, it will be around 110 degrees centigrade for those filaments. For the good adhesion, we are using for the 110 degrees centigrade for heat bed, and the melting temperature of the filament was 240 degrees centigrade or more than that one also. For some filaments, it will be around 250 degrees centigrade also. Yeah. And the last option in this printing settings was mostly we are using. There is a option is there. Enable sequential printing. While enable this option, we can easily print 2 to 3 parts on the build platform. Which was it will finish the first part and again it goes to home position and it changes its position and again it's print again and again it will print the second part. Like that it will print while enable sequential printing. What's the advantage and disadvantage while enable the sequential printing was, while we enable the sequential printing, it will avoid the over extrusion between the two parts. If we are placing 2 parts on the bed, yeah. I'm thinking to print these 2 parts at a time, but I didn't enable the over extrusion sequential printing. So what it will give us, like how it print was, it will took as these 2 parts as a one part. and it will print at a time the single layers at a time only. At the time, the nozzle will travel from this part to this part. In this area, there will be over extrusion will occur. So to avoid that, for that over extrusion, we can enable that sequential printing. When enable sequential printing, what it take it as these two designs as it will took as two different parts. So first it will print this part. After that, it again goes to the home position, and again it will print this part. While printing like individual parts, we didn't get any that much over extrusion. So for that purpose only, we are using that enable that sequential printing. But for now, we don't need any sequential printing because we are going to print only one part only. I'm placing somewhat side from the corner because for my bed I have a slit hole on the bed. Okay. After finishing all these printing settings, we have to save. Yeah. I am saving my design. It will save as a G codes. This slicing software converts the STL file into a G codes. You can see here, this is our the sliced part, and we can see the layers, how it was. Here you go. You can see the layer, how it's printing, the layer by layer. I already told you we have a pre-extrusion option. This line was the pre-extrusion. On printing that line only, we can identify that the flow is coming good or not. And also we can see here how much filament it will take and how much what's the printing time of that part. It will take around 10 minutes and 0.75 meters because I use it the maximum maximum layer height, and also I'm using the less infill. So that's why it take me less time to print and also less material cost. For that, slicing in the FDM printer is mostly this much only. But when compared to slicing in FDM printer and the SLA printer, in SLA the slicing is little bit easier than the FDM. I will show you that one also. First of all, I have to check if there any. Does anyone have any doubts in that slicing software, sir? Can you show the final product? Yeah, okay, sir. Now only we can start the print. I will start the print. After finishing this slicing software, I will show you the how the printing will works, how the printer will works. Yes. This is one of the SLA slicing software which we are using here. Formlabs company's Preform software. Same as the FDM printer, this is the build platform on which area the part will be printed. And also you can ask me a doubt, why already we have FDM printer, why we need SLA printing? The reason why we go for SLA printing was, in FDM printer, it will goes around 0.1 mm only, 0.1 mm surface finish only we can. But in SLA, we can go through 0.025 also microns, 25 microns, 100 microns. We can go through the 50 microns also we can. And also in SLA, we didn't need any if we don't have any flat surface, we can easily print that part. There is no need the part didn't get any damage. Like I said before in the FDM, if in FDM we have to place the flat surface on the bed, but in SLA it's not like that. We can place the part on any direction. What we have to check in SLA was we have to check, we have to reduce how much resin it will took. That one only we have to check. First, now I will load a one path. Yeah, I am telling you. See, I forgot to tell. This software also we can easily download from the online, open source. We can we can download it from the straight from the Formlabs website. It is free of cost. Like same, I told you that Flashword software, FlashPrint. These two softwares are the free of cost. Also, this user interface and also print settings are also basic one. We can easily understand on these two softwares. Yeah, right click, open. This is the design which we already we saw in the FDM printer. In that FDM slicing software, I told you we have to place the flat surface on the bed, then only it will come good. But in that SLA, it's not like that. We can place we can orient the part on which direction we want. But what we have to check in that SLA was on at which direction it took less amount of resin it consumes. That only we have to find. For me, this direction is okay. If you print in this direction also, the print comes quite good on the SLA printer. By using this one, we can orient the part on which direction we want. Simply select on that one. We can place on that side on the bed. Or otherwise, you don't need that option. We can manually rotating all these. We can easily orient the part on the bed. For me, this direction is good for me. After that, after placing the part on the bed, like what we did in the FDM slicing software, same we need to go for support structures. We can simply, these are the different support options we have. This one is full draft. Previously, I told you in FDM software, FDM slicing software, we have a raft which is printed bottom of the part. Like that, only in SLA, there is a full draft is there. I will show you. You can see this one. There will be a cup-like structure. First print. After that, only the part will came. Like that, the full draft will print. But while giving this full draft, it will took some. It consumes the resin more. So that's why I'm avoiding that one. I'm using these mini rafts. Yeah, mini raft means directly the support pillars starting from the bed. You can see this is the touch point of the part. After printing, there are some post-processing work out there. All these post-processing techniques we will see in the next session. Now we will finish the slicing and the printing work. After giving these support structures, we can upload the file to software. Same as in the FDM slicing software, we can edit the support structures on which area we want. I want to add a support structure on this area, so I placed a point on this area. and I apply and I give apply. You can see this one, there was a support pillar came. Like that, we can remove or add the support structures on which area we want, on which area we don't want. While printing this part from the FDM and SLA was, in SLA it will come quite good, and also the part also will it more stronger when compared to the FDM. After finishing all these works, we can simply upload the job. Mostly this is the basic setting for the SLA slicing software. While practicing on that only, we can know on which area we don't want the support and how to place the software like that on practicing only. Now I will show you another part. That one. This one. If you saw this part, on every direction it has some detailings out there. If we go through print in FDM, we have to place this part on this side, but because on this area only we have flat surface is there. But if we place on any side, the support material it will took, because in every direction there are some detailings out there. You can see. But in SLA we didn't have that disadvantage. We can place the part some little bit angle and go through that auto generate supports. Yeah, you can see that it took minimum supports. After printing the part, we can easily remove the supports. Mostly there will be no damage of the parts while compared to FDM in SLA. The part will become good. Also, we can print intricate shapes. A lot of difficult parts we have to print in FDM. We can easily print those parts in SLA. In the next session, I will show you some SLA models which we print for medical applications. Actually, now we are doing some aligners, mouth clips, braces for those things. I will show you those designs on the next class. For the slicing software, is this much is enough, I think so. Now we will go for the printing. Wait 1 minute. The pen drive. No, pen drive. Pen drive. Okay. Now we go through printing what we sliced before in the FDM slicing software. Mostly there are 3 types of file sharing in this in the FDM softwares. One is the USB port, or other one SD card, or otherwise in some systems they have a Wi-Fi support also is there. We can simply share our files through cloud. Now in this the printer which we sliced that one, I'm going to share the file through pen drive. Now we are going to print this part. You can see this one is different from others. All the files are as STL file. Only this file is the JX file. So we have to copy that one. For slicing software, we need STL file. But for 3D printer, it will be a GX file, G code file, because it didn't accept any STL file. We have to slice that one, and we have to give that G code file only to the printer. Okay. Now we go for the printing in the printer. Sekhar sir. Hello.
So tell me, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir. Now can I log in with the another account, sir?
Okay, sir. I will accept.
Yes, sir. Now we are now we are going to the printer. This is the FDM printer. Previously, we sliced it for that in the software. This is a Flash Force one. Flash Force. The printer name was the Finder. Now we have to first put the USB pen drive to the printer, and you can see here the pen drive is connected. Before starting the print, we have to load the filament to the printer. First, we have to put filament. The filament will come as like this spool. The filament will roll on the spool. You can simply give as load. After reaching its temperature, we can load the filament. Now it's reaching its temperature. Now we are going to load the filament. You can see here, I am placing the filament to the nozzle. There is the nozzle, and you can see the filament is the filament extrusion from the nozzle. After filament is loaded, we can start our print. Go back to the home menu, build. Actually, now we are transferring the file through SD card. So that's why you are selecting the SD card option. And we will, this is the file which we sliced, and start our print. You can see here the print head is moving. Our print was started. Within few minutes, our print will get. We will get our print. Okay. It will take some time. In that time, we will see we have a look on the SLA printer. This is the one of the type of SLA printer we are using. This is the basic desktop type SLA printer. Same as the FDM printer, in this one also we have a build platform. This one is the build platform area. On this one, the part will stick and we will get the part. For this SLA resin printers, the raw material is resin. We have to pour that resin on this area, on this resin tank. This is a basic SLA printer, so that's why we have to pour the resin manually. There are some advanced SLA printers out there. In that SLA printers, it will took the resin automatically. In those SLA printers, there are some sensors out there. With that sensors, it took the resin how much it wants. This is the resin tank. On that resin tank, we have to pour how much resin we need to print that part. In SLA printing, there is some disadvantages there. We can't see the at the time of printing like we can see it for FDM printers. Mostly the SLA printing will done on the closed environment only, because it doesn't it doesn't affect the light. If the light passes on that resin, it will that resin will get hard. So mostly the SLA printing will done on the closed environment only. But if we saw a FDM printer, it will all the FDM printer will done without any enclosures or that one. Now we'll see, already we are doing some printing works for customers. You can see those things, how the printing it will do. In that FDM slicing software, I already told you that infill. You can see this one, this pattern. This is the infill which defines the strength of the part. In this one, I gave only 10% only. So that's why for this line to this line, this much gap will be there. Otherwise, if the customer needs more strength, we'll go for the more infill. This one is PLA filament. So that's why I didn't put any enclosure on the top of the printer. But if you see this printer, there was a glass enclosure on the top of the printer, because in this one, the ABS filament is printing. You can see that one. This is the ABS filament. For ABS, we need to print in the closed enclosure only, because it has a high temperatures. For the heat bed platform also 110 degrees centigrade, and the nozzle filament at 240 degrees centigrade. So to avoid warping, cracks between the part, for all those things, we have to print this ABS material, nylon, and the high temperature materials in the closed environment only. In the next session, we will discuss about how to avoid all these things, like warping, cracks, and what are the reasons to get the print failed in the middle of the print, those things, and how to maintain the printer. Also, like that, also we have to maintain the filament also. If we didn't maintain the filament, it will cause at the time of the printing, the print will not come that much good, and also the filament will break. In the next class, we will saw that one also. And also the one more thing, after the printing, if the print is not coming that much good, we have to go for the post-processing techniques. In next class, I will tell you how we have to do the post-processing, and if we didn't get the part that much good, how we have to regain its shape, like that, everything. And also, if the surface of the print it will not come good, then how we can make that surface smooth. There are some post-processing techniques out there. By using that techniques, we made that surface of the print smooth. Like that, in FDM, in SLA also, some post-processing work is there. After printing, we need to remove the supports, and we have to sand the part by using sandpapers. And if customer need any color, we need to go for the painting. Those all things I will show you in the next session. I think our print was almost 35%, or it's almost done. Is it visible to you? The print is going on. On this area, we can see the filament, how it's building layer by layer to create the part. The nozzle, how it's moving. Like this, how we slice it in the slicing software. On that, the print head will move and create the part. Already I have some examples. I will show you that examples. Just now I said if the print came not good, what we have to do for that further post process. If you see here in this print, the surface is not that much good. Full porous is there. To avoid these porous and we need to get smooth surface finish, we go for some post processing techniques. For those post processing techniques, I will tell you in the next session. Can it wait? Can it print more than one product at a time? Yes, it will print more than one product at a time. In that slicing software, if we give two parts, it will print two parts. It's fully based on the slicing software only. Actually, I gave only one part, so that's why now in this one you can see only one part is printing. It's already increasing stage. Our part was ready. It's printed. This is our part, what we sliced it before. Now I will remove that part. By using a scraper or a metal piece, we can remove that part from the bed. This is the final part which we sliced. Yeah. I already told you there will a brim will come after the paint. You can see here there was a thick layer was there around the part. That layer is called the brim. This is the final part after our printing. Okay. Is it visible to everyone, this part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Any doubt in the printing? Because in the next session, we will go for some post-processing techniques and the maintenance, fully machine maintenance like that only. Okay. Yes, sir. Based on the practice only, we can get the good prints. Mostly at the time of starting, there are a lot of failures will be occurs. After that, practicing only we can get. Then we may get doubts. Yes, sir. If we practice only, we can get doubts. At the starting of the class, I told you that there is a two types of printers are there. One is a Cartesian 3D printer and another one is Delta 3D printer. These are the two examples of that one. You can see this is the Cartesian 3D printer. In this one, this is the nozzle head. It will move in y-axis and z-axis. The bed will move x-axis. But while it will come from the Delta printer, it's quite different. The build platform is fixed on the bottom. The only full nozzle setup will move the X, Y, and also Z. There is a advantage and disadvantage using the Delta printer. This Delta printer is where printing fast compared to Cartesian printers. But the disadvantage in this Delta printer was the build area was very less. Small build platform will be there in the Delta printer. That's the main disadvantage in the Delta one. Any doubts from the printing side, sir?
Participants, if you have any doubt or query, kindly raise it to the expert.
Do we get one build platform for each printer? Yeah, for for glass bed, I already told you heated bed platform. For that heated bed platform, we will get we can change the heat bed platform. I will show you. This is one of the type of heat bed platform. We are using the glass bed. We can change this glass bed, but we didn't change the shape. Mostly in Cartesian printers, the bed shape will be square or rectangle. But in Delta, it will be a circle. We can change the bed, but we didn't change the shape of the bed. Any other doubts, sir? Or can you see any real-time printing? I will show you already some printers are working. That can be changed. If you guys want to see real-life printing, I will show you the printing. Delta or Cartesian. That can be changed in which one? Mostly bed will be changed on the Cartesian one only, because in the Delta the bed will be fixed. In the Cartesian only we can change our build area like that bed. This is our production room which we are using. You can see that different types of printers. Some printers are different heights, sizes. If you see this printer, it was the dimensions for this printer was 40 centimeters, 40 centimeters X and Y axis. And you go for the Z axis, it will go for 80 centimeters. Also like that same in this printer also. This one is 30 centimeters in XY and the 45 centimeters in the Z axis. The sizes are different, but the printing work, everything is same. Slicing, the materials it will take. This printer it will take nylon, PLA, ABS. Same way, this printer also it will accept all the filaments. Only the build area and the size of the printer only it will changes. After that, any doubts, sir? Can we end the session or any doubts here?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Can you suggest any printer for high performance polymer, sir?
For high performance polymer means which material, sir?
PEEK.
PEEK. Hello? PEEK.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Mostly for Creality and Prusa filaments printers are there, sir. For PEEK, for high temperatures are there.
Can you spell, sir, once again? Can you just repeat?
Creality.
Creality.
Yeah, Creality.
And?
Creality and Prusa.
Prusa.
Prusa. Prusa.
Prusa printers. Okay, sir.
In
What may be the cost,
those
sir?
are-
Any idea?
Sir?
Any idea for the any cost?
Cost, I don't know, sir. It's starting from the basic price, because in that Creality and Prusa, it's starting from the desktop printers to main function printers are there.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Any other doubts, sir?
Participants, if you have any doubt, you can raise your questions or we can conclude the session. If you have any question, please raise it to the expert. Thank you, sir. As and when you answered many queries which is posted in the chat box, that's why I think there is no much questions on the end of the session.
Okay, sir.
And many of you are wanted your contact numbers to inquire about the printers and other things. If possible, you can share or I will share in the group. No issue, if you with your consent.
Okay, sir. I will give the company number. You can
Okay,
share
okay.
that number, sir.
Okay,
sir.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the wonderful, practical-oriented, informative session. Participant, I hope you had a lot of knowledge input from the real time and the practical point of view. Hopefully, some more informations you will be receiving during this next session on Friday. We have a session on Friday from Vishnu sir. I thank Mr. Vishnu for his sparing his valuable time with us. And Kanni, our thanks to Mr. Rose Reddy and your office personnel, administrative people at your company. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And dear